Everyone always says that men are simple and women aren't, that men are like really, really just, they're just super easy to understand, and that women are very complicated and difficult to understand. And this is completely inaccurate, guys. A woman who has never known what a man wants will find men incredibly complex and impossible to understand, but all she needs is guidance. And ladies, I gave that guidance in my last solo episode a few days ago. But men, women are the exact same. We are simple creatures. You just were given the wrong playbook to understanding us. And in this episode, I want to break down 5 things that men should do and 5 things that they should not do to keep their wives happy. Basically, the 5 things they should do to keep their wives happy, and 5 things that will tear their wives down and ruin their wives' trust in them, and therefore the overall happiness of the marriage. And I think what you'll find is that it's pretty easy to keep women happy, and you are overthinking how to keep women happy. And if you're new to this show, my name is Andrea Pearson. I'm a USA Today bestselling author of over 85 books. I've been podcasting and public speaking in various formats for over a decade. And on this show, I help you challenge common mindsets and beliefs, replace them with something that is better or something that is accurate so that your actions will produce phenomenal results in all areas of life. And I talk about business and marketing and marriage, relationship, all aspects of life. But the mindset challenge that I want the mindset that I want to challenge today is that women are complicated. I don't get them. That's the mindset that men have, or that women are just not easy to understand, or that women expect a lot. And I want to challenge that. Women don't expect a lot. We really aren't super complicated. We don't want a whole ton from the man. You just have to be taught the best way to treat your lady, and I want to help you with that. Now, disclaimers, I'm not a therapist, obviously, because I'm an author, right? I'm an author. I've also only been married for about 15 years because I don't know, because I got married 15 years ago. But also marriage only works when both people work on it. So I've been obsessed with the topic of marriage and learning how to best have a marriage. My husband and my marriage are my top values. I prioritize those 2 things over everything. And that's how I've been even before I was married. I always knew that my marriage would be the most important thing in my life. And I spent a lot of time learning how men operate and listening and paying attention to the couples around me. And I want to take the experience and the things that I've learned and help you guys understand how to have a healthy marriage and help you know that it is very possible for you to have a very happy and very fulfilling marriage. Another disclaimer, trauma changes a lot of things. And so if the person that you're married to has a horribly traumatic past or has had any trauma in his or her past, the stuff that I talk about may or may not apply. It will apply. It'll just be, you'll have to approach it differently. And I recommend doing so with a trained therapist. So men, without further ado, the things for you to do to have a happy, healthy marriage. And women and men, I did go pretty hard on women in their episode, and I'm going to go hard on you just because I want to help. I want to make sure that that you get the truth from me. I'm not going to sugarcoat things, okay? So if you want to go and listen to what I said to ladies, please do so that you can see that I'm not picking on you unnecessarily. That said, I do believe that women generally set the tone of the marriage and the relationship, and that guys are almost always interested in pleasing their wives, and women are like the ones that are a little bit harder to to be they seem to think that the only way they can be happy is if they change their husbands. That is not the case. I do think that men generally don't want to change their wives, but they also don't recognize how easy it is to keep their wives happy. And so if both couples or both partners in the coupleship or whatever are equally invested in wanting to help and work on that relationship, then you have a much higher chance of success. And women, go listen to your episode, whatever. Okay, so this is for the men, right? So the first thing you're not going to want to hear, a lot of men don't like being told this, at least in my experience. I know there are a lot of men who are very, very open to this, but the majority of men I've met are not open to this. And it's so easy, and it makes such a huge difference in your wife's life, and I'm going to hopefully help you understand why. But the first thing is to help with cooking and cleaning. And I know that, like, you're going to be like, oh, she's only saying that because, women's rights and all that. I'm actually a very traditional woman. I love taking care of my husband. I love cooking for him. I love cleaning for him. I love making sure that he is content. And I'm a very traditional person. I do believe that women should be in charge basically of the house and making sure things operate smoothly. And whether she hires that out, whether you help with that, whether the kids do it, or whether she does most of it herself, that's up to each individual couple. But I believe that marriages are happier when the man is predominantly in charge of providing and protecting, and the woman is predominantly in charge of nurturing. Okay. So I'm a traditional woman, but that said, I have never ever fallen out of love with my husband, and I have never ever turned down sex. I initiate it all the time. I make it fun. We have an amazing sex life. And you want to know what the key to this is? It's my husband's willingness to help. But first, I do want to say that I do have a different attitude towards sex than a lot of women have. Some women are they enter into their marriage thinking like it's going to be something like this forced thing where their husband's going to be expecting it all the time. I entered marriage knowing that that would possibly be the case, and I was okay with it because, anyway, lots of stuff we don't need to get into in there. Anyway, but the key to the biggest reason why across the 15 years of marriage that I have never, ever fallen out of love with my husband. I've never, ever turned him down, ever, even when I'm exhausted. And he doesn't even ask when I'm super exhausted. He knows, right? And I mean, I will even say, are you sure? I know I'm not feeling well, but are you sure? And he's like, no, you're not feeling well. I don't want to have sex while you're not feeling well, right? And that is because he helps, and he always has helped. He doesn't view it as helping. He views it as doing his part. And a lot of that is he was raised by a man who helped his mom. And so it was normal to him. But for those of you who were raised by men who did not help your mothers, this is not going to be as natural to you. It's not going to come as naturally. And it might be something that you really struggle with. And maybe it's a little bit of laziness. Maybe it's a little bit of you're super, super traditional. And like, whatever, just recognize that the vast majority of, well, pretty much every single woman out there, they will be more open to everything, basically, if you are willing to help them. They will feel more attachment to you if you are willing to help. Anyway, so the vast majority of my marriage, I have done about 80% of the cooking or cleaning, unless I'm sick or recovering from surgery. And in that case, then my husband does pretty much 100%. And there's been times where he's had to do a lot of it for a while I've dealt with newborns and while I've dealt with like massive, horrible recoveries from surgeries. And then the other way, it goes the other direction as well. When Nolan is super sick, I'm doing 100% of it. But in the vast majority of our marriage, I have done about 80%, sometimes 60 to 80%, and he has always, always pitched in and helped. And how do I reward him? By being available physically. And I don't think of it that way. It just happens. Like my emotions are available for my husband physically, if that makes any sense at all. He helps me carry my loads. He helps me, he helps me manage the house. He helps me so that I don't get to the point where I'm so exhausted and so overwhelmed and so frustrated that I have nothing left for him. I always have something left for him because he always has helped. And I do want to reiterate the fact that trauma changes things. If you're helping a lot and your wife is unavailable and you've been helping pretty much the whole time, or if it's been going on for a while and she's still unavailable, there might be some trauma that is in her past that's causing issues. And so I'm just talking about relatively healthy adults right now. But women fall in love emotionally and men fall in love physically. So, I mean, think about the couples in your life who are married. I've got a ton of girlfriends who, when they first met, who would become their spouse, they're like, yeah, he's good looking, I guess. I don't know. And then as they get to know him, that attraction grows exponentially. And so in men, it's the opposite. They look at a woman and they're like, oh, she's physically attractive. And then they get to know her and they do, that attraction also grows a little bit as they get to know her personality. But for men, that physical side of things is a lot stronger than it is for a woman. And women, if a guy is not there emotionally, it doesn't matter how hot he is, she will not fall in love or stay in love with him. And so women they say we're emotional creatures. Like, we're not like, I mean, women do have, mood swings, whatever. I'm not going to go down the stereotypes. I definitely don't fit that bill, but I am an emotional creature, meaning I am like women. When I am being taken care of emotionally, I find my husband more attractive. And that's going to be the same for pretty much every single woman out there, no matter what her personality is, even if she's a career-driven person. If you take care of her emotionally, she will find you more physically attractive. So what does helping look like? I'll just give you an example of how it looks in our household. So Nolan, when we're in the 80%, I'm doing 80%, he's doing 20%, or I'm doing 60, he's doing 40. He'll cook dinner once, maybe twice a week. He'll cook a really big breakfast once a week, usually on Sundays. I absolutely love that because he goes all out. He does amazing eggs, he does bacon, he does hash browns, he does either waffles or pancakes. I absolutely love it. And he's a phenomenal cook. I love it when he cooks weekly, because he cooks the exotic, interesting meals, and I cook the ones that are more familiar, the ones that we repeat regularly. Anyway, so that's when it comes to cooking. When it comes to cleaning, he does dishes every single day. And when you have young kids, it is necessary to do that. I'm like, I will do a load, he does a load, um, or one of us does all of them and he helps out a little bit, or he does most of them and I help a little bit. Or in this situation where I'm only doing dishes a couple times a week because I've been doing all of I'm basically the breadwinner right now, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But um, he does dishes every single day because when you have a family, dishes pile up, and just expecting one person to do all the dishes all the time, it's just not plausible, guys. It really is not. So that's how he helps out. He also does a lot of the sweeping. He'll do like he knows his attention, he knows his detail way more than I do. And so, like if things are on the floor, he'll notice that before I do. I'm just always in my little bzzz, I zone in on things, and that's what I notice. If I'm zoning on the dishes, I will do every single dish in the kitchen, and he's not that way. He'll do the load, right? But I'm the deep cleaner. I'm the one that does everything because that's what I'm focusing on. I focus on it and I do it, right? But for him, he'll just do the load, and sometimes he'll do all the dishes too. Anyway, so what are the chores that you gravitate towards, men? If you gravitate towards like vacuuming, then do the vacuuming. I gravitate towards like doing the bathrooms. It doesn't bother me. I love cleaning bathrooms, and Nolan doesn't mind vacuuming. I actually enjoy vacuuming too, but again, I'm not detail oriented, and he's more likely to see things on the carpet that need to be vacuumed up than I am. And so he just does what is naturally good for him strength wise, and I do what's naturally good for me strength wise. And if you feel like helping with the chores or the cooking or the cleaning or anything like that is below you, I want you to take your wife and put your hands on her shoulder and look her in the eyes and say, honey, I've decided I'm tired of having sex. Let's take a break for a couple of years. And if that, I mean, I really want you to understand how important this is. Like that is literally what you're saying to your spouse if you are unwilling to help out. This is a massive thing for women. And I'll get into obviously other things that help. So some men don't help as much around the house. They help here and there, but they're very, very good on the other things that I'm going to talk about. And so you've got to be doing some of these stuff in order to have a happy, healthy wife, which leads to a happy and healthy marriage. One of my favorite things was something that my uncle told me shortly after my husband and I got married. And he and his wife have 10 kids, which is a lot, right? But something he told me that he said that he realized very, very quickly after he got married and started having kids was that in order to have a clean house, he had to help out. He did not expect his kids to do the cleaning because kids are the ones that are causing the mess. If you expect the kids to keep the house clean, your house will never be clean. You have to teach the kids by your example how to clean. And and your wife, I mean, both of you, it needs to be both of you doing it. And because kids are going to learn better from one or the other. Your boys will learn how to treat their wives by watching you. And if you never help out, what your kids will learn is that men never have to help out. And that is, I mean, if you, again, look your wife in the eyes and say, I don't want to have sex anymore. That's what you're telling your boys. Is that if they don't ever have to help out, but you're also leading them down a path of a very unhappy, unsatisfied relationship with their spouse. So teach by example. And when kids see parents helping each other out, they're more likely to help their own spouses. Kids learn by cleaning with their parents. They don't learn by you saying, go clean. That's not going to help them, right? So be a good example and help out, and your wife's sex drive will thank you. Okay, so I spent a lot of time on that one. There's going to be a couple others that I will spend a lot of time on. One in particular, the very last one, but I mean that one is just such a big deal, and there's a thread that you're going to see throughout all of these, and that involves the emotional health of your wife and how you are basically contributing to her happiness emotionally. Okay, so the second thing is to encourage hobbies, and this is something like when I first met Nolan, he didn't tell me this, but he rated women based on what, like, no, he didn't rate them. He was looking for a wife who had hobbies, something outside of her, because he knew that if she did not have something outside of him and the kids, she would be unhappy. And so he wanted somebody who had a little bit of ambition, a little bit of drive towards something other than the relationship. And he knew that that would lead to happier wife. And I'm guessing that's just based on watching his own parents. But so in order for this one to work, you need to find some time and you need to find some money. So find time in your schedule, find money in the budget to help her have hobbies. And it must be something that is outside of you and the kids. It absolutely must be. It can't be your kids' hobbies and it can't be your hobbies. It needs to be something that is just for her. And this is especially important when kids are little. Oh my gosh, it's more important when kids are little. She needs to have something that helps her remember that she is a human and that she is not just a mom or a wife, okay? That is very important for her. Okay, third, and this kind of goes hand in hand with that second one, encourage her to spend time with friends and family. Strengthening her relationship with other people will actually strengthen her relationship with you. Because, again, you cannot satisfy every single aspect of what she needs. She needs girlfriends. She needs family. She needs her parents. She even needs your parents. She needs to have relationships outside of you. So encourage her to spend time with those friends and family members. And if she's an introvert and spending time with kids and you exhaust her, then you're going to have to help her create some space where she can have that social energy and that emotional energy to spend time with other people. But this is a priority. It needs to be a priority. And again, Nolan has always, like when I'm really depressed, he just gets in this, he goes into this zone, this mode where he's like, let's get Andrea social time. And he will be like, go hang out with your brother, go hang out with your mom, go hang out with he just like lists all these people for me to go and spend time with. And, he's right. That's what I need. When I'm really, really depressed, I need other people. Okay. So fourth, express appreciation. And I did mention this for the women as well. If you're not expressing appreciation, then it's gonna be seriously draining her emotional love bucket. And when her emotional love bucket is completely full, that is when she's going to be available for you physically, and not just. I mean, men. I don't want you to think that like sex is a bad thing, and that I'm like, all you want is sex. But that's how men feel loved. It really is. And if she is not able, if she doesn't have enough bandwidth for you, then there are things you can do to increase her bandwidth so she does have enough for you. And so express appreciation for her, especially if she's a stay-at-home mom. So many women are like, I have to do all of it. Well, you don't. Like women who have jobs, I've seen them complain that stay-at-home moms are always complaining. I'm like, you get outside of the house and you get to go be around other people. Stay-at-home moms are home with their kids all day long, and it is exhausting and it is draining, it's very, very difficult. And so I know that working moms have it hard. It is really, really tough to juggle kids, and especially when they're sick and you have to call in sick to work. And that is very, very difficult. But I don't like having been on both sides of things. Being a stay-at-home mom who does not have something outside of the house is a lot harder than being a working mom. And again, for the last 2 years, I've been the main breadwinner in our household. And I'm going to say it is easier to have a job and juggle things than it is to be a stay-at-home mom. And part of that is because I am an extrovert and I do enjoy going out and being around other people, but that's going to be the same for most everybody. You have a place that is separate from your home and you can go and you can work and you're not at home listening to the crying and the begging and the whining and mom, I'm bored. What should I do now? And mom, I'm hungry. What should I eat? I mean, it just gets exhausting. And so, men, express appreciation for your wives. And sorry, I went off on a tangent to the ladies. I just wanted, I don't know why I did that. Anyway. Okay, so the things that stay-at-home moms do, and any wife, any mom do, if they frequently get ignored or not seen. And that goes for any situation, any work situation. It's very easy for you to not to notice that things are getting picked up or that laundry's getting done because it just gets done and things just get taken care of. And so you're not paying attention. And so I'm asking you to pay attention and to express appreciation. So a little anecdote about this. Nolan has always been super supportive, and he would come home from work and I'd be like, it was a horrible day. And he'd be very understanding when things were just chaotic. Right. And very, very, very understanding. And he's really, really good with detail. Like he's very detail oriented. He's very good at doing things like monotonous things every single day. He doesn't enjoy it, but he's a lot better at it than I am. And both of us thought that he would do better at being a stay-at-home parent than I did. And I mean, we didn't actively seek that out, but when it ended up happening, like he was like, I'm gonna rock this, I'm gonna do this, it's gonna be really great. And I honestly believe that he would as well. And he's done very, very good. But many, many days he will say, I was busy all day long and I didn't get anything done. It's because the tiny little things that keep us busy all the time. And it's like, oh my gosh, somebody spilled something, you have to clean that up. And oh my gosh, the laundry and all of these little tiny things and you look back at your day and you're like, I didn't do anything, but I was busy all day. And it's really, really hard to feel, good about yourself when nobody notices those little things. So express gratitude, notice the small things. Those are going to be the things that will fill up her love bucket and make her available for you emotionally and physically. Okay, fifth, and I'm going to keep this one a little bit short. This one's not going to be or not going to be a big surprise to you. So let her vent. Let her communicate to you. Let her unwind basically verbally with you. It's really important for women to be able to do this for emotional regions and emotional connection. And when she is venting to you, don't take control of the conversation. Don't try to fix things and don't zone out. By just listening, you're going to actually be solving her problem. So men enjoy solving problems. I actually love challenges. I love looking at an issue and being like, oh my gosh, this is an awesome challenge. I can't wait to wrap my brain around it and solve it. But she does not need you to solve the problem. Okay. And again, this is stuff everybody, you've heard this a million times, but it's true. Okay. The only thing she needs you to say is like, oh my gosh, that sounds so awful. And wow, what did you do next? And so what was on your mind when she said that? Or, oh my gosh, that's horrible. That's literally all she needs. So let her talk until she calms down, then give her a hug, tell her you love her, and that's it. As I said, you are solving her problems by doing this. Anyway, so all of those things that I just talked about will massively increase her love and attraction for you. Okay, so let's go on to the things that you should not do. First, don't ignore her. And this is a roundabout way to give a number 6 of the things to do, and that is to show her affection. So ask her how her day went, touch her, give her spontaneous hugs, little notes, just little things basically that show her that you are thinking of her. So when I say don't ignore her, I'm saying show her that you're thinking about her day in and day out. I'm going to tell you a little bit about, so one of the things that my husband does is we live up against a mountain and he will just go straight up to the point of the peak. He usually does that about once a week. And while he's up at the very, very top, we live in the desert and there's these little tiny flowers that grow up there. There's like little purple ones and little red ones. And when he's up there, sometimes, it's not every time, but it's occasional. He has gone up there and he's at the very top, the 4 mile up to the top. He'll pick one of those little flowers and he'll attach it to his backpack. And I don't even know how he does it, but he keeps it out in the sun. He doesn't squish it. He just attaches it to his backpack and then he brings it home to me. And those flowers are the most special things I think he's ever given me. Those and the love letter he wrote me. He's not a handwriter, not a letter writer at all. And 15 years of marriage, he's never written a letter to me. And I asked him for like 3 or 4 years for every event in the like Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Christmas, birthday, all of that, asking him to write me a letter. And he finally got that done this past Christmas. And between the 2 little flowers that he's given me over the last year and that love letter, those are my most prized possessions. Those are tiny things, guys, but it shows me that while he was up on that mountain, I'm pointing at it right now, while he was up on that mountain, he was thinking about me, and that little tiny flower means so, so much to me. And men frequently think that the bigger the thing is, the better. And that's not the case, guys. Women are simple. Like we like little things, like we like small things. It's the small things that you do every single day that are more important. And we love those big things too. So, I mean, continue doing them. I'm not saying to stop doing them because they do mean a lot, but you would be really surprised if like that little flower that my husband got versus like the big, massive vases of beautiful bouquets that he's gotten me for like Valentine's Day and Mother's Day, that little flower is actually more important to me than those big, beautiful flowers that he's gotten to me. And other gifts that he's done for me, like, here, I'll show you this little guy right here. This right here, I like dinosaur. My favorite franchise is the Jurassic Park franchise, and he painted this for me, guys, and it took him like 30 hours. And this is a big deal. Okay, so but look how it's like a tiny thing, right? And you might look at this and go, that's like minuscule and doesn't mean a lot. But this, he painted this for me after a really awful fight that I had with a couple of my siblings, and I don't generally fight with them, but it was a really, really tough period of time for us. He painted this for me, and it just super, super meaningful to me. Another thing he did, he 3D printed this little rhinoceros for me, right? And it's like, I mean, this is just it's like a dumb little toy, right? Somebody else would look at that and go, but he did it for me because he knew that my goal, I was trying to reach a specific goal, and he wanted me to have a physical reminder. And I've got a couple other things here too, but I'm gonna digress and get away from that. But it's the little things. Women don't need big things. We need a lot of little things. We also appreciate big things, right? And I accidentally just kicked my camera. We appreciate the big things too, but the little things are sometimes more important than the big things. And because that's because it shows that you're thinking about us. It shows that you care. And then our hearts warm towards you. And because we want, and it leads to us wanting to please you in every single way. Okay. So the second one is one that I also gave to women, and that is don't badmouth, don't trash talk, don't demean her, don't gossip about her to her face or behind her back. Don't gossip about her to her face. Don't bad talk her to her face, and don't do it behind her back. This will destroy the trust that she has with you. She's not going to feel safe if she knows that you are gossiping about her or bad mouthing her. Women must be able to feel safe, to be able to open up emotionally and sexually even. And so if she doesn't feel safe, she's not going to be able to open up with you. Okay, so third, don't put your work or your hobbies above her. And hobbies and work are super, super important. And women, you know your man's hobbies. They're very, very, very important to him. But guys, don't put them above your wife. Now, I do want everybody to recognize that there is a period of time where hustling is important. Like when you first start your career, hustling is an important part of that. But what I'm telling you is don't stay there. So once you get through school, like once you get through that really, really tough period of time, wind down a little bit so that you can be spending a little bit more time with her. And then same with your hobbies. If your hobbies take you away every single weekend, it's a problem. That is going to be a problem. If work always requires you to work late, that's also a problem. She's going to fall out of love with you if you aren't putting in effort. And like if you're gone every single weekend, like if you both work, or if you work and she stays at home, or if she works and you stay at home and you're gone every single weekend, you are losing your opportunity to nurture and nourish that relationship, and she's not going to be available for you, emotionally or physically. Okay. Fourth, don't keep secrets from her. Don't withhold finances from her. Don't withhold addictions from her. Don't withhold anything that, like the things that you're like, I don't think I want to say that to her. I'd rather she not know about that. Don't do things like that. Okay. If you have big secrets and you know that she's not ready for them, help her get ready for them. What I mean by that is don't manipulate, but spend some time showing her how much you care about her, and by paying attention to the little things, so that she feels safe once you tell her about the big things. And I'm going to just talk a little bit about current problems, and I'm going to do future episodes on these. But right now, in 2018, the Supreme Court knocked down a bill that allowed online sports gambling. And at that point, before they decided that it was legal, $5 billion were being spent per year on sports gambling. In 2025, it was $150 billion had been spent on sports gambling. And the vast majority of this is men. And then also around 90% of men are struggling with pornography, and tons of men try to hide both of these things from their wives. And both of these problems that are currently rampant in our society lead to hidden behaviors, lead to spending money that you can't afford to spend, and then it leads to you wanting to hide and be secret and not share with your wife. Your wife wants to help you, and if like I said earlier, if your marriage is in a bad spot, start working on it so that you can get to the point where you feel comfortable sharing with her, and where she feels safe enough to hear that sort of thing. Okay, so this last one's the one that I said I would talk a lot about, and this is going to be, it's directed to men, but I will be addressing women in this one because you'll understand why. Okay. Fifth is don't talk badly about her body. Now, this is a really big one. It's a big deal. Don't insinuate in any way that she looks bad, that she's too fat, or that she's overweight. Don't mention anything negative about her body. Like if you don't like the way her toes look, don't tell her. If you don't like how her hair parts, or if you don't like the color of her hair or her eyes or her body shape or body size, don't tell her. Okay. Um, don't tell her anything negative, and don't tell her to lose weight. Now, the negativity one, let me see. I'm going to double check that I do have, I do mention in there. I think I do. Yes, I do. Okay, so I'll get into that in a little bit, but um, if she says that she wants to eat something that you know is going to cause problems, don't tell her not to eat it. Don't tell her to lose weight. I already said that. Don't remind her of her goals. And there's a caveat with this, unless she's asked you to. And if she has asked you to, proceed with extreme caution. And most men are going to go, yeah, I would never tell my wife she's too fat. Or I would never look at her and go, honey, you should probably consider losing weight. Or man, these clothes just aren't fitting you. You just don't look as good in those clothes anymore. You're not going to probably do that. And so a lot of you will listen to that and be like, yeah, obviously I'm not going to do that. Okay. But be very, 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 very careful around this topic. Okay. Um, Women are emotional creatures, and I've talked about this a lot. Even women who are more like me, and I'm very even keeled emotionally. I very rarely go up and down. I'm mostly just content all the time, and even I have an emotional need to feel safe. Okay, women don't lose weight unless they are happy with who they are and happy with where they are, unless they feel emotionally secure. And there's been several times in my life, like after every baby, I gain like 50 pounds or whatever, and I'm up at the maximum I've ever weighed, and I don't start coming down from that even after having the baby. Everybody's like, oh, you'll lose it all after you have the baby. That's not true. Most women do not lose all of that weight after they have the baby. They will lose 10 pounds, 5 pounds, 15 pounds, and sometimes they gain a little bit of that back even. And sometimes they'll gain a little bit more than that. It depends on where they are emotionally. And for me, I get severe postpartum depression. And I intend to lose like 10, 15 pounds and then gain 5 pounds back. And then I hover at that place where I'm very unhappy. And I know, I'm like, I'm not super attractive. My husband doesn't find me super attractive. He says he does, right? Which, okay, I just broke one of my own rules. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But I do not start to really lose weight and get back to my happy where I'm at weight until I am content with who I am and content with what I wear, what I look like. And generally what leads to that is, you know what? I'm just going to be okay with this weight. I'm going to buy some clothes, and so I'm comfortable with this weight, and knowing it's not going to be here forever, and just being content with this season of life. And that is usually around the time when I get to the point emotionally where I am ready to start losing weight, and then the weight just starts to come off. And when I am feeling uncomfortable with who I am and where I am, I struggle with losing weight. But once I get to a place where I feel safe with my husband, safe in my body, safe with who I am and how I look, even at my overweight points, that is the point where I'm able to lose weight. So if your wife is overweight, it means that she's struggling emotionally or mentally. And telling her or insinuating or suggesting her to, like, telling her to lose weight or insinuating that she needs to lose weight or suggesting any of that will make it much, much worse. So if she asks if she looks fat in a dress, don't tell her she looks fat. Just say, hey, why don't you put on this dress? You always look gorgeous in that one, right? Something like that, right? You are her safety and her protection. And so, if her weight truly does bother you, I want you to check yourself. Okay. Are you, does her weight bother you because you're worried about how other people will look at you? Are you because you're worried about your image? If you're embarrassed by it or all? Okay, let me try that again. If her weight bothers you, is it because you're worried how other people will see you? If does it embarrass you? All of that, and I'm gonna say, and this is the reason I'm stuttering through this is because a level of that is understandable. Women want a trophy husband. They want the dude that makes a lot of money, who's super powerful and is really awesome and is attractive. And so you want that just as much as men want a trophy wife. And there's nothing wrong with that. We are biologically designed to want to be with beautiful people, and there's nothing wrong with that. And so there is some level of slight embarrassment. There is some level of I wish that that is a little understandable. But I do want to know, like, if all of it is because you're embarrassed, or all of it is because you don't want to be associated or in any of that, then that's a bad position to be in. I have no suggestions for you on that one. But if it bothers you because you recognize that being unhealthy is actually, or being overweight is dangerous, if you recognize that it's because she is in a place emotionally where she's unhealthy or mentally unhealthy, then that's a much better place to be in, and that's coming from a position of compassion, and you're going to be able to help her so much better to feel safe and to get to the point where she can lose weight. But mental health challenges, emotional challenges, things like that, they get so much worse with negativity. And so if you're struggling with it and you're putting a lot of pressure on her, you're actually making it much, much, much worse for her to actually get to a position where she can lose the weight, where she can feel comfortable with herself. Um, okay, so my husband has never, ever, 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 ever even insinuated that I needed to lose weight, or that I was in a bad position, or that anything about my body was negative. He's always been very, very careful. And I'm sure he probably looks at me and sees that there's imperfections. Like, I know he sees imperfections. He's incredibly detail oriented after all, but he has never ever pointed them out to me. And my siblings did. Like, when I was a teenager, my siblings would tease me about certain things, and I have never forgotten those things. And they've actually caused quite a bit of trauma in my adult life that Nolan has actually helped me through. And if he had done it, if he'd added to that, would have made things so much worse for me. Um, so if you've ever done something to her, I mean, this is probably where marriage therapy is going to have to come in, or because I'm not qualified. I can't tell you how to fix it if you have done something, but just know it's probably going to take years, possibly, for her to get comfortable with herself again, because I'm in my 40s and I still struggle with things that my siblings teased me about when I was a teenager. And I'm like, if my husband had added to that, gosh, I don't know if I'd ever get over it. Okay. So I did say at the start of that this would be geared to women as much as it is to men. Ladies, this does not let you off the hook. Okay? I'm telling men not to be negative about you physically, and that is really important. They need to treat you really well, but this does not mean that you can just balloon and be as big as you want, and that he has to accept you that way. Okay? That is not what I am saying here. Okay? What I said about people who gain a lot of weight is accurate. It usually happens because they're not in a good place mentally or emotionally, and they have to get to the point where they are happy with who they are before they can start to lose weight. But all of this said, men are visual. They really are, and they fell in love with your body and your mind, not just your mind. Okay, and you don't want him to gain a whole ton of weight, and he doesn't want you to gain a whole ton of weight either. But for men, it's even more important. Physical attraction is massively important, and it makes a huge difference. And I don't want you to be like, oh my gosh, and just collapse under all of this. Just recognize that it is important, and that he cares about you, and he wants you to look your best. But that like just work together on getting you to a position where you can start to lose weight if it is a problem. Okay. And another note on that note for ladies, and this is going to possibly blow some women's mind. I know it did blow mine. Sorry, there's like a little feather floating in the air there. For those who are watching on the camera or watching the video, this might blow your mind. Men prefer women who are overweight over women, and I'm not saying massively overweight. I'm saying comfortably overweight over women who are underweight. Okay? If a woman is underweight, she loses her curves. She doesn't have the thing that makes a man attracted to a woman. He needs a woman who is soft and voluptuous, right? So if you are slightly overweight, a little bit overweight, 10, 15, even 20 pounds, 30 pounds overweight, he's going to find you more attractive at that weight than he will if you lose a lot of weight and you become underweight. And also, men are more attracted to women who are slightly overweight than women who are the perfect body and are horrible to be around. Okay? Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're going to eat that. Do you really want to eat that? Or I'm going to go to the gym for the 15th time today. You should be actually working out with me too. Okay. Like, men would rather be with somebody who is a little overweight, a little bit on the chunkier side, and who has a healthy body image, and who is happy with him, and is not nagging him to, also, go to the gym all the time, or go and stop eating things all the time. And even if she's not nagging him, he's going to prefer somebody who is not constantly counting calories and constantly working out all the time, because it's exhausting. It's exhausting to most people. And again, caveat, if he's attracted to that, if he likes that body type, there's a more, or that personality who is that gym rat type personality in a female, she's going to be more attracted to guys who are that way as well. And so they generally gravitate towards each other. And so if your husband is not a gym rat, he's probably going to be okay with you being a little bit overweight and not being like super strict and just like all the time. And also another thing, as women get older, um, being a little overweight makes us look a little bit better. And it's hard to understand why, but women who are like the like absolute peak weight, when they're in their 40s, they look gaunt, and it makes them look unattractive. They don't have the curves that they might need. And so if you are a little bit overweight, stop stressing about it. Okay, you're probably still, actually, I know you are still going to be attracted to him. If you're overweight and he says that he's attracted to you, believe him. And I am currently about 10 pounds, maybe 15 pounds. I'm looking at myself in the camera. 10 pounds overweight. And my husband is still attracted to me. And I am starting to understand that he's telling the truth. It's really hard. Women, it's really hard. And men, it's very, very hard for a woman who has struggled with weight off and on to hear that she's attractive. But women, believe it when he says he's attracted to you. Anyway, so men, you have a huge impact on how she feels about herself. So tell her when she looks beautiful. Tell her when her eyes look good, when her makeup looks good, when her hair looks good. Tell her those kinds of things, and basically help her build her body image up and her self image up, and just help her feel safe with you, emotionally and physically. And she will be so much more open to you emotionally and physically. Um, Anyway, so that was number 5. Men often think that women are complicated, but honestly, we aren't. We're just different. And none of the things I talked about today are huge, dramatic gestures. They're all really tiny things that, if you do consistently, create a big, an amazing, big, wonderful, amazing, very healthy marriage. And don't overestimate the little things that you can do to help make your marriage better. And also, the good news is, for men, you don't have to change who you are. Just pay attention and invest in the relationship. Because if you consistently take care of your wife emotionally and show up as a real partner, not just somebody who's a partner in name or partner in legalese, but a real partner who helps out and who feeds her emotionally and gives her like little, massages or whatever, does things, the little things that I mentioned, the marriage will be so, so, so much better for you. You will have a happy, healthy marriage. And that is all areas of marriage, your sex life, your emotional life, all of that. And go listen to my episode on how to keep husbands happy, both men and women. And if you know someone who would appreciate this information in either of these episodes, please consider sharing with them. Make sure that you subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate you guys so much for listening. I really do. And I love you all. And I hope that you have a wonderful week, and go make your marriage a good one. Oh, and really fast, my next episode is going to be with a marriage license therapist, whatever, who's been doing it for years and years. And we're going to discuss my lists from both the men's lists and the women's lists. So go listen to them and come to that next episode prepared to hear how a marriage therapist responds to what my suggestions are for you guys. Anyway, so thank you again for listening, and I will talk to you all later. Bye.